excited to kick off our GP webinar series. We're starting it with our ISV Spotlight, and we are so excited to have Kevin Pritchard here from Enliven Software. So Kevin, I'll let you take it away.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for setting aside some time here to go ahead and learn a little bit more about how we can make your GP function better. I know you're all busy people. It's the first of the year, and it's time to get back down to business, but hopefully 2011 can be a year of increased automation. And I'll go ahead and show you a few things here. Before I mute everyone, I just want to make sure that we can all see things correctly here. Let me get this meeting fired up. So is everyone able to see my screen? It should say Fidesic Platform right now, and just be a basic PowerPoint website. Are we okay?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Great. Again, what we're going to go through today is the Fidesic Platform, and really it's a web-hosted solution by our company, Enliven Software. We specialize in Dynamics GP add-ons for accounts payable and accounts receivable. I'll show you a quick demo on both sides here today, as well as a PowerPoint overview of exactly what our products are. Once we're through here, of course, we'd be happy to set up a custom demo for anyone here. We can show you specific to your business and how you guys use GP, exactly how we can help out. So we'll keep it kind of high level at this point and just really highlight some of the features and show you how we can help make your GP run more smoothly. So from a real high level, what is the Fidesic Platform? Really what it is it's a web location that ties directly into your accounting system, Dynamics GP, and allows you to better communicate with both your vendors and your customers. So by communication, I mean we're going to have customer and vendor-facing portals available on our site. Those vendors and customers will have the ability to log into that portal, submit invoices, receive payments, schedule payments, really do a lot of the functions that you're currently doing by paper-based methods. And of course, all of that is going to integrate directly with your GP system. And where I'll start off today is on the accounts receivable side, as far as billing your customers, and then, of course, giving those customers different options to pay, and some of the features and functions that they'll have available here. So we'll start on the accounts receivable side. After we go through that, I'll answer a few questions, and we can go ahead and talk about the accounts payable side. So some of the key features with our AR processing system, you can deliver all of your invoices by a single process. So it's just a matter of uploading that invoice data out of either SOP or just the plain old RM module or the project accounting modules within GP. And once you upload that invoice information into our system, we can take care of all that fulfillment. So we'll send out emails automatically, we'll send out faxes automatically, and we also have the option to deliver your paper invoices on your behalf if you're interested in doing so. If you're interested in continuing to do that in-house, of course, we have that as an option, and we will simply take care of your emailed and faxed invoices for delivery. The other nice thing that we can help you set up is the ability to set up automatic reminders, so you won't have to worry about sending out those reminder emails or invoice statements. We'll automatically remind those customers as you have them set up. The real nice feature is with every invoice that's uploaded into our system, independent of the method of delivery, we're going to give your customers access to a customer portal. So from that portal, they can schedule both ACH and credit card payments to you. They can even sign up to pay things automatically, which, of course, would be a wonderful thing for you to get those customers to pay their bill without having to actually think about paying that bill. They'll have the ability to track their account. They can reprint invoices, review any invoices. They'll have a full payment as well as invoice history, and they'll be able to see the current status of their account all through our web portal. So what's really great about that is you can reduce the number of inquiries that customers have. You give them all that information on the portal, and they'll go ahead and take care of it from there. Aside from that, we can help you post those receipts direct back into GP. So not only is it a direct upload out of GP, those payment receipts will be downloaded from our portal into your system. They'll close out against the original invoice, and your process will be complete. So some of the benefits that we can do there is help reduce that day sales outstanding. As you might imagine, delivering invoices electronically and receiving payments electronically often results in those customers being able to pay faster, and that's a really nice way to turbocharge your cash flow. Like I mentioned previously, we can help reduce the number of inquiries that your customers have. They're going to have a portal on the web where they can keep track of their account. They shouldn't have to call your AR staff and ask questions, and additionally, there's no need to file through old invoices to figure out exactly what they're talking about. All of this is going to be listed on the portal, and you'll always have access to the original invoices. With any system that transitions from a paper-based to a paperless method, we're going to try and reduce the amount of labor associated with your processes. I don't have to tell everyone here that paper costs money, stamps cost money, and paying someone to stuff and mail costs money as well. So we're going to help you transition from that paper-based, labor-based process to a simpler, quicker, and more efficient one. So as a quick overview of what the process looks like, the first step within our system is just like your first step in AR that you have today. You're going to go ahead and create that AR invoice within GP. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can create those invoices. You can use project accounting, you can use the RM, you can use the SOP module, but whatever way you choose to create the invoices, it's just a matter of uploading that into our system. So creation of invoice process will remain unchanged with our AR solution. The next step after that batch has been created is the process of submitting that batch into our system. So that will be utilizing our Send via Fidesic button, which you'll see here in the demo environment shortly. It's just a matter of uploading that invoice information into our system, and we'll handle the fulfillment. So click of a button, all those invoices are uploaded into our system. For those customers that have opted in to receive email as their notification for invoices, they'll receive an email. It'll have a PDF attachment as well as some basic information about that invoice. They'll be able to review that within our Customer Account Center. It'll also have a link which directs to that Customer Account Center. They can review that or any other invoice that you've sent them, enter their payment information, and we do support both ACH and credit card as a way for your customers to pay you. After they have entered that payment information, it's really just a matter of scheduling that electronic payment back to you. And once that payment has been processed, we'll create a receipt file, and likely it'll become a daily or weekly process for you to do an import of those receipts. And at that point, you'll be able to pull that information into GP, and it's just a matter of posting it, and all those original invoices are closed out, and your AR process will now be complete. So that's sort of the end of the PowerPoint side of things, and I'm sure you're all much more interested in actually seeing the demo environment here. It's easier to get an understanding if I show you what this looks like in your daily process. So I'm just in GP10 here. We support 2010 and GP9, but GP10 is just what I happen to be using for this particular demo. So first thing I want to show you is if we go into our customer card here, some of the information that we'll make available to our portal through your customer card. So you won't have to worry about maintaining separate customer records. Everything that you have in GP will be synced with our portal, and that this will act as the master for our customer records. So as far as emails that you send these invoices to, it'll be pulled right out of the email field within GP. As far as mailing addresses, this will all be pulled out of GP, and the same is true with fax numbers. The thing that we will add into the system, though, is our Fidesic Options button here, and this will allow you to select your delivery method for this particular customer. Of course, we're going to pick email here since we have an email address on file and this customer has opted in. And right here, we also have the option to turn on automatic reminders here. So if we want to remind them after 15 days and send them a piece of paper in the mail, we can set that up, and you don't have to worry about applying this or sending out individual reminders to customers. So just easy setup, all maintained within GP. Our system is designed around GP, so really the functions won't change too drastically with how you use GP today. So what I'll do is I'll just create an SOP batch, simplest one to do. But like I mentioned, we can also do RM or project accounting here, and it'll function in exactly the same way. So you can just create your invoice using whatever system that you have currently. It'll behave largely the same. If you have a third-party system for creation of invoices, it's likely that that'll work no problem with our system. But again, that's something that we can discuss in a custom webinar if you'd like to learn a little bit more. So I've added an invoice to this batch here, just a single invoice in this particular case, but this could be a batch of 500 or 1,000 invoices, and our system's going to work in exactly the same way. So as opposed to printing these off, what you're going to do is click the Send via Fidesic button, which is a button we'll install within our module that will modify your GP to allow you to submit this data to us. Click Send via Fidesic. We'll have a preview of the invoices that are about to go out. You can pull up that PDF copy of the invoice if you choose to do so. And I should also note that PDF is going to be attached to the email as well as uploaded into our portal. This looks good to go. We can make a last-minute change to the method of delivery if we need to do so, but email sounds good to me. So I'll go ahead and click Submit. Enter my password. Alrighty, so we're back up here. I just submitted that batch into our portal, and I will go ahead and post this batch. And that's now posted in GP and ready to receive payments against. So again, not too terribly dissimilar to how your process works. It's just a matter of uploading those invoices at the end of the creation process. So what I'll do now is go ahead and catch those invoices. So I'm going to change roles here and be the customer who's going to receive this invoice and make a payment. So I have a quick email set up for this particular customer, as we saw based on the customer card. And this is just a live email address that I set up for our account here. And any email address will work for your customers. So I just set up a Gmail for an example. And we'll log in here. And we'll be able to see an example of what this invoice will look like. So it'll have your company logo up here. We can customize the body of this email to say really whatever you would like. This is just sort of our simple template that has an overview of what this invoice says. You'll have that PDF copy attached automatically so the customer can print it, save it, do whatever they might need to do. And then, of course, they'll have a link to log into our Customer Account Center here. So I should also note that this will be a branded login screen. This will have your company's logo. This is one of our great customers, ServPro, who was kind enough to allow us to use them in our demo situations here. But you'll have your logo. We can match your color scheme. You can link to this directly from your website and make it your portal for your customers to make payments. So I'll go ahead and log in as our customer here. So now that we're logged in, we'll see that we have the custom color scheme for ServPro here, as well as some different options for this particular customer. So where we defaulted when we logged in is unpaid invoices. So we're able to see the invoices specific to this account. We're able to see that there's this is the invoice which we uploaded into our system. Same line item detail that we had within GP. Same PDF copy that we created within GP. So again, that customer should never have to call and ask for a reprint. They'll have this information available. If they have a question, they can shoot you a quick message. Somebody at your company will receive that message. It'll have a link direct back to this invoice. So they won't have to go digging through to find that physical copy of the invoice. Simply log in and review that copy. If we go to the Payment Account tab, as you can see, you can enter both credit card and checking information into our system. And we have the ability to segment this. So if you don't want to accept credit cards for whatever reason, we can turn that off. The same is true for the converse. If you don't want to accept checking accounts for whatever reason, only credit cards, we can go ahead and make that switch. The other really cool thing that these customers can do is pay for these invoices automatically from month to month. So they'll pick their method of payment, and then they can select how they would like to pay automatically here. So we can pay the same day of each month, specific number of days before an invoice is due, or immediately after they have been invoiced. The other thing we can do is view the full invoice history here. This is organized by category for ServPro here, but in most cases you can keep this simple, organized by category. It's up to you guys how you want to have this set up, but you can see every invoice you've received. You'll have a full history as well as every payment that you've scheduled back. So if we go back into our unpaid invoices here and say that we want to make a payment on this particular invoice, we'll go ahead and click Pay. We can pick our payment account, whether that's our Visa or our checking account. I'll pick Visa. Click Pay. And we've now scheduled a payment for that particular invoice. The other cool thing, we can make payments on multiple invoices. So if you want to pay these too, simply select your method of payment down here. You can click Pay and make a payment on multiple invoices here. So again, try to make things as easy as possible for your customers. Make them able to schedule payments to you directly, and then they don't have to go ahead and send in a paper check, which is in turn going to make things a lot easier on your end. So what I'll show you here before we finish up on the AR side is a couple of the features that you will have available to you from the portal from an accounts receivable perspective. So not only does your customer receive a portal where they can keep track of their account, you're going to be able to track their account through a web portal as well. So I've flipped sides again, and I'll be acting as a member of your company, and this is some of the info that we'll have available to them on our portal. So if we go to our receivables tab, we're able to see our customer list. So this will be a full list of customers. This is nice because we can keep the system organized based on customer. If you want to see all the invoices that you've ever sent to a particular customer, you can do so here. And the same holds true for them scheduling deposits back to you. So as you see here, we have our 2 payments that we scheduled earlier. It says in their current status that these are scheduled. And then if we ever want to pull up a previous payment, we can do so and see specifically what invoices were paid by that specific invoice payment. So again, trying to make things as transparent as possible is really our goal here. You're able to quickly see what customers haven't paid, as well as what customers have paid and when you can expect to receive that. So after all those payments have been processed, we'll go ahead and create that receipt file. So we have that. After we create that batch of receipts, it's just a matter of doing an import of that receipt file into GP to post against the original invoices. So as you may or may not be familiar with, this screen is where this receivables batch entry window is where all receipts are entered. So we'll just make a batch up here real quick. You can use whatever batch ID scheme you currently use. Select cash receipts, and this is where normally you'd have to have an AR person go ahead and do an import directly, or enter in directly all of the individual receipts for that period. But with our system, all you're going to have to do is click the Get Fidesic Receipts button, and all current receipts will then be imported into GP automatically. So these are the 2 payments that we have. Import these. These have now been added into this batch of receipts. No need to do any additional data entry here. All that information is going to post out correctly. So once we click Post, we'll apply those on the invoices within GP. And then the really nice feature that we have here is, even if some customers choose to pay using a check, or they want to pay in person, whatever the case may be, and you go ahead and enter these in, that's still going to sync back with our portal. So all customers, independent of their payment method, are going to have current account information available from the portal. So even the people that send in a check from month to month can access the portal and at least view their current balance and view any outstanding invoices that they may have. In turn, hopefully driving adoption towards more electronic payments, as every time somebody signs up for electronic payments, that's going to save you some time and money. So that's really the end-to-end for the accounts receivable process. I'll go ahead and unmute us here and field a couple of questions. All right, I think we have the floor back open here. If you guys want to shoot off some quick questions while I get things prepped up again.
Yeah, I had a question. Will it accept international ACHs or just domestic?
Currently, it's just U.S. ACHs. We do work with Canadian. It's just, it depends on the country. We've done some work in Australia and New Zealand as well. But, it really depends on what country you're talking about and sort of, the ACH rules that they have in place specifically. Any other questions at this point? Okay, great. That's fine with me. Again, if something pops up, feel free to write it down. I can respond to questions by email, or I'm sure your IBIS representative will be happy to get in contact with me. And hopefully, if you're interested in the accounts receivable side, we can schedule a custom time, and I can go through and show you exactly how this will work with your business specifically. But if we're okay so far, I think I'll go ahead and show you the accounts payable side of our system as well. So the accounts payable side that we have is it's a similar sort of process to the accounts receivable. However, you don't have to use both. It can be either or, and really any aspect of the system that you see here can be segmented off and you can use specific to your business. So as an overview of the payable side of things, invoices, the Fidesic system is used for processing payables invoices as well as scheduling payments back to the vendors. So there's many different methods that payables invoices can come in, as I'm sure you're aware, and we can capture those by all the different methods that your vendors could possibly submit, give your vendors a different option for submitting, and then we can allow you to have a web-based approval workflow, a web-based document management system, and then, of course, have the ability to import all of that data into GP directly. After that's been imported, we do support ACH and paper check fulfillment as well. So really, we can be your end-to-end payable solution just as well as we can be your end-to-end receivable solution. So some of the benefits that we can help you out with accounts payable processing. First and foremost, we can make your approval process function better. So that means you'll have more clarity in your process. It will be more automated. There will be a full history on those approvals. And of course, we can speed up those approvals for you as well. The other nice thing we can do with our AP management system, you can approve invoices over multi-facilities or even approve them while you're out on the road. That's the real benefit of a web-based system for approvals. Anywhere with a web connection works just as well as being on-site. Additionally, we can reduce the cost of data entry. I'm sure you know payables can get a bit out of hand as far as data entry goes, and we have several different options to reduce that, and that's really the drive of our system, is to bring down the cost of that data entry and AP labor with the process. Of course, we can help reduce the paper storage costs as well. With our document management system, you'll have PDF backups of every invoice that's come in. So if you ever need to pull that up, you can simply log into the portal and pull up that data. Like I mentioned, you can automatically route those invoices for approval. That'll be something we'll help set up during the initial implementation phase. And then, just like we had on the customer side of things, we also have a vendor account center, which allows your vendors to manage their account. From there, they can sign up to receive ACH payments. They can submit invoices directly. They can even go so far as to receive purchase orders and manage their full account using the portal. So I'll be sure to show you what the vendor account center looks like here as well. So, like I mentioned earlier, invoices come in by lots of different methods, and we have different ways to handle all of those situations. So the first is simply paper coming into an office, and it's a matter of scanning that invoice in and submitting it into our system. The reason that we'll have you do that is we can then run it through our optical character recognition processing and do a majority of the data capture automatically on that invoice. So not only are you going to have a paper backup or a PDF backup of that invoice, you're also going to have that data in electronic format, which integrates directly with GP. The other nice thing about all these different methods is our system will function in the same way, independent of how they come in. So if invoices come in by email, they're subject to the same approval process as paper ones. The same holds true for fax. And of course, we're going to give those vendors the ability to enter invoices directly into that portal, which you'll see here momentarily. So as far as the process perspective, the first step is the invoices are submitted into our system. So that will be done by any of the methods that I just mentioned. So that could be scanning, That could be web portal submissions, that can be fax, that can be email. We'll capture these invoices automatically by any method that those vendors choose to submit. After we capture those invoices, we're going to go ahead and do our OCR scrape on those particular documents. So that's where the data capture happens automatically for you. We'll be able to capture the invoice number, purchasing amount, the due date, any discount terms, what vendor it's from, what location the invoice came into, and based on all that, we can do two really important functions. First thing we can do is automatically assign the GL code based on that data we've captured. Of course, there will always be exceptions, but we'll make it easy for you guys to modify those invoices and change the GL codes if you need. But every time we get a chance to GL code, we'll go ahead and do so just to make your lives a little bit easier. The second cool thing we can do with that is route those invoices automatically based on the data that we capture. So, it could be rules such as if it's from this vendor, it needs to go here. If it's over $5,000, it needs to go here. It's from this particular department, it needs to go to this person. We'll set that all up during the implementation, and the majority of your invoices will now be automatically routed for approval. With that approval process, we're going to send out email notifications to the particular approvers who need to log into the system and approve those invoices. So they'll constantly be reminded if they need to go in and approve those invoices. Once they're in the system, they can make any tweaks, review the invoice, pull up the PDF document, make any changes, modify the GL codes. Of course, this will all be logged within the history, but after that, they can go ahead and approve that invoice as well. So after that invoice has been fully approved, we'll create an approved batch of invoices, and it's just a matter of importing that invoice data into GP directly. So again, no need for additional data entry to get that information into GP. Once it's been fully approved, it's really just a matter of logging into GP and doing a quick import. So after that import, we also have a payment side of it. So, it would make logical sense to pay your vendors using the same system that you received invoices from. And that's exactly the way that we've designed our system. So you'll go ahead and build that payment batch within GP, just like you're doing currently. We've already imported that invoice data back into GP. So again, we'll function just like out of the box GP here. Except for when it's time to go ahead and cut those checks, we'll insert a very similar button to the Send via Fidesic button, our Send Payments button. You'll be able to send that payment batch up to our system. We'll then segment it off based on method of payment as opted in by that particular vendor. So that could be ACHs or paper checks. We also support an electronic approval process on the payment side. So if you need to have those payments approved, we can set up a process to do so as well. Once that payment has been approved for the paper checks, we'll affix an electronic signature to it. You'll then have the option of printing those off locally, or just like on the invoicing side, we can do your printing and stuffing for you as well. And for those approved ACH payments, we'll schedule that payment, and those will be automatically sent to your vendors. The cool thing about the way that we have this set up is just like how every customer has a customer account center, every vendor within our system is also going to have a vendor account center, and that will give them the option to sign up for electronic payments. So that's the overview of the process flow here, and I also have a quick payments demo for you guys as well to show you what the system looks like. So as I jump back into my demo environment here, where we'll pick up is immediately after that optical character recognition process. So in a real-world scenario, you will have received your paper invoice locally, scan that into our system, where it will be automatically scraped by our OCR system and then brought back into our portal for approval. So if I log in as our first approver here, I'll be able to view invoices that I currently need to approve. Once I'm logged in, we'll be able to click the Unapproved Invoices tab, and we see that this particular approver has 2 invoices to approve for the same company. So there's some basic overall information, and we can go ahead and approve it here. But of course, we can drill down into much greater detail about this invoice. So from here, we can make adjustments. We can approve these. We can send messages back to vendors to ask them questions about this particular invoice. We'll be able to see the workflow that has been automatically assigned to it. So currently we see that I'm the approver. After I do my approval, it's then going to go to the next approver in the process. We're also going to have a full invoice history as far as when that invoice was created, any changes that were made to it, any approvals, any notifications that were sent out. This is all going to be logged within our history. If we click on the PDF button here, we're able to pull up the PDF of that invoice. So this will be the actual scanned copy of that document. We'll keep that on hand for a period of 7 years, so you'll always have your PDF backups of invoices. If we need to make changes, we can adjust that GL code, which was automatically assigned by our OCR. And I should mention that everything that you see here was automatically captured by our optical character recognition system. But if you need to make a quick change for whatever reason, you have the option to do so. You'll have your full list of GLs as synced out of GP. So whenever you make a change to GP, that will sync with our system. Okay. So if we need to make changes, we can do so, change the purchasing amount. Plenty of options for what we can do here. Since I'm the first approver, and I'll go ahead and check on that other invoice real quick to make sure it's okay. Compare it against the original PDF document, and see that that looks good to go. We see that the GL has been automatically assigned, and like I mentioned, we can make a change to that if we need. The other thing we can do is make changes to the workflow that's been automatically assigned. So if we say, oh, well, actually, Jane does not need to see this particular invoice, we can go ahead and remove her as an approver. And then we also have the option to add in additional approvers as we need. So if you say, oh, well, this actually needs to go to, Jim over at, a different department, you can go ahead and make that change and add in different approvers here. Of course, any changes that we make are going to be logged in the history. So, if you remove somebody or add somebody else in there, we'll go ahead and make sure to log that in our history. So if these look good, I'll go ahead and approve both these invoices and send them forward to the next phase in the approval process. So these invoices look approved by my standards, and they've now moved up the chain to the next person who needs to review that. So I'll log in now as the controller, who has a bit higher level of permission here. Once we log in, we'll be able to see right from our heads-up display that we have one invoice which needs to be approved. And again, we can set up custom email notifications for all of the employees, letting them know every time that they have to approve something, or we can give them a daily update, a weekly update. It's up to you guys how you want to set up those notifications, but we will notify people when they need to approve invoices. So click our Payments tab. We see that we have one unapproved invoice. This is the invoice that we were looking at previously. So if we check on the history now, we're able to see that Joe AP approved this invoice at this particular time. Pull up that PDF copy if we need. We can also add in different approvers, make adjustments, any changes that we need to make here. We have the option to do so. But this invoice looks good to me, so I'll go ahead and approve this. And that invoice is now approved and ready for payment within GP. So this will likely become, either a daily or every couple of day task that we'll have. And it's a real simple import of approved invoices into GP. So at this point, this is where companies lose lots and lots of man hours, is simply just entering in invoices into this screen. You go into the transaction, key in all that data, then it's a matter of making sure that it's been approved. You stick that piece of paper in a filing cabinet somewhere, and then it gets a pretty complex, hairy process, and we try to make this as simple as possible. So pick whatever batch ID that we need to do. select payables as our origin here. And again, this is where you normally key everything in, but with our system, all you're going to have to do is click the Get Fidesic Vouchers button and do an import of that invoice data. So again, in this case, there's only 2 invoices that I'm going to import here, but this could be a batch of 500 and it would work in exactly the same way. So we have our 2 invoices. They're both fully approved. If we want to update our system with new vendors or item lists, we can just click that button there and our system will keep up to date. But all I'm going to need to do here is import those invoices. So see, we did a 2-pronged import of those invoices here. Okay, so now that those have been imported in here, again, 2, but this could be a much greater number than we just did. After these have been imported, we can see here that we pulled in the payment terms on these. If we look at the distributions, we're able to see the distributions applied automatically as well. So, there's really no need to make any changes at this point to these invoices. Just thought I'd show you that everything got imported correctly. And we'll pull up that batch. And all we have to do now is click Post, and those invoices are now ready for payment. So if you're really just interested in the AP document management approval workflow side of things, that can be the end of our solution. We don't need to have the payments piece, but since I've got a demo, I'll show you the end-to-end process and how it works. And again, works in a very, very similar way to how the AR side of our house or of our system works. You're just using basic GP windows that you're already using and then handing the data off to our system to take care of the details. So we'll create a payment batch here. Pick our checkbook, which we'd like to pay from. And then we'll click our Build Batch button. This just goes back and double verifies that these invoices have been approved. Most customers that I work with don't need this extra step here, but I kept it in for the demo just in case. We'll build our payment batch here. We see that these are the 2 invoices that we were previously looking at, just imported, and these are now ready to pay. So as opposed to printing these off locally, what we're going to do is go ahead and click the Send Payments button, and this will upload this payment information into our portal. We'll have a preview of what we're about to send out here. We have electronic selected as our payment method. If there was no ACH information, of course, we're going to create a paper check for that account. The advantage being we can affix that electronic signature to it, and it's just a matter of printing, stuffing, and mailing. And just like on the AR side, we can happily take care of your paper fulfillment if you need. So I'll click Pay on this. Finish up the transaction in GP and show you what it looks like from the payment approval side of things. So that's been now uploaded. We're all set in GP. That payment has been processed. Now it's a matter of applying the payment approval aspect of our system to that particular payment. So I'll log in as our AP clerk once more, as this AP clerk now needs to go ahead and review that payment which we just submitted into our system. So we have our payment account here. Pick the payment that we have. We're able to see both invoices that we submitted into our system. And if these both look good, all we have to do is approve this payment. And that payment is now fully been scheduled out to that vendor. And the cool thing that we'll do here is we'll send an email notification to that vendor letting them know that you've scheduled the payment to them. So what I'll show you now is the vendor account center side of things. And again, this will be available to all of your vendors. And it's just a matter of them actually using the system. So we'll make it all available, give them as much info as possible, and hopefully they won't have as many questions about their current account status. They'll be able to manage that all through our portal. So if we go to the Invoices Sent tab as a vendor, we'll be able to see every invoice that we've submitted as well as its current payment status. We can see all of the payments that we've received here. This is a particular payment. We go into the detail of this payment. We can see its current status, what invoices are being paid, even the original PDF scans of the invoice if we need to do so. We're also going to have the ability to enter our checking account here, and if you enter that checking account information, you'll then be opted in for ACH receipt of payment. And then lastly, what we can do here is bill the invoices directly. So if you have vendors that are pretty forward-thinking or relatively small vendors, depending on the case, they can invoice you using this system directly, which is really nice for you guys. You don't have to worry about the OCR side of things, and those vendors can just submit invoices directly into the approval workflow system right here with this screen. Enter some info. You can even sync your items here if you need them to enter particular items to you, and really just manage your vendors all from a single location. So that payment's now been scheduled. That vendor is able to see that they are going to receive that payment, and of course you're going to have a full audit trail for both the invoice approval process as well as the payment approval process, and of course have that document on hand whenever you need. If a question ever comes up about it, all that info is going to be stored within our portal, and hopefully make things as simple for you as possible. So I think that's the end of what I wanted to show you on the payable side of things here today. Does anybody have any questions about that? I'd be happy to answer a few quick ones here.
Yes, you do. Hello?
Is that a question? Sorry, having a bit of trouble hearing you.
The ACH transactions that are scheduled on, are those processed through you, or do you have to set something up with? Do we have to set something up with our bank to process that?
Yep. You will have to set up an ACH relationship with our bank. The advantage being of using our system, it will be a batch ACH file as opposed to a per payment ACH file. So, it could be 500 ACHs all through a single file. Upload that to your bank, and that'll be processed automatically.
Upload that up to our bank or your bank?
Upload it to your bank system. So you would need an ACH relationship with your particular bank, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then the paper checks, can those continue to print those in our office if we want to?
Yep, you can print those. With our payment approval process, we'll attach the electronic signature. So really, you'll just be printing on blank check stock, and you won't have to go ahead and get manual signatures on anything. It'll work very similar to how we do invoices. Really, we'll just create either a daily or weekly check batch for you, of all the things that have been fully approved, and you can just print those off and mail them out on your behalf.
Okay. And then the approvers, can you lock down if you wanted to have 2 levels of approval that they can't be overridden?
Yep, that's a permission within our system. Some people have the ability to change the approval workflow, and some people will not. So it's up to you how you want to set that up.
Okay, and then can you set it up by item and or dollar amount, like if it's over $5,000, or if it's a fixed asset that it has to have 2 approvals, or the controller's approval, or something like that?
Yep, hit it exactly. We can do dollar amount, we can do vendor, we can do where it was scanned, we can do department. There's a lot of different options, and of course, if you have some little unique way that you have approvals in your business, it's not much of a stretch to make a tweak to our system to get you exactly what you need. Okay. Well, that's really all I needed to cover here today. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to set aside some time here again today. I know it's busy season for sure. But if you'd like to learn more, like I've mentioned a couple of times, usually a custom demo is the best option at this point. I can get some answered ahead of time, show you exactly how we can help, and then of course we can talk about pricing as well. And if you want some more info, just contact your IBIS representative. They're very familiar with what we do here, and they'll be able to give you some more info and contact us directly for a custom meeting. So I can pass things back to everyone else here. If we want have any follow-up, any questions, I'll be happy to pass control back.
Thank you very much.
All right. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you all soon.